Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. Alright folks, here we are after market close on Monday, August 28th. We're going to take a look at micromobility.com today. Ticker MCOM. So big day today, big stretch. This is going to sound like not much, but percentage-wise, it's quite impressive. It had a high of 11 cents and a low of 6.7 cents. So really stretching the range there. And as you see, it's been on this very long down curve. So what I thought we would do is come in, put some levels, some trend lines here in the Webull chart, flip over to the Think or Swim study, see where things are situated in the channel and the TTM squeeze indicator, and go from there. Now, I know this is very far away, but this is just where I'm going to start. We'll get obviously much tighter in, but there's this enormous gap that stretches from about 450 on the entry to about 578 on the exit. And so I'm going to put those there just in case it ever decides to make that sort of a run. We'll know that there's a gap there. There are additional gaps, and again, I'm just going to notate them. They're not going to be predominant on the chart. I'm going to give them this like really great outline. Again, just because we don't know, it's just such a stretch, right, for it to get all the way up there. So I don't want it to be sort of a siren song, but it's worth having there nonetheless, I think. So I'm going to put some levels in here on the daily, and then I'm also going to add some levels on the 10-minute because there's not a ton of price action in this range, as you can see. And so I want to accumulate all of these days in 10-minute blocks and get some additional ranges that should be useful based on that. So these first couple are pretty tight in. To the upside, 72. 70.6 is the nearest in to where we are right now. 687. I'm saying 70, but 703. So 706, 724. These low-priced fraction of penny increments always get me. There's a level there that I'd put 672, and then I mean these are kind of tight in, but these are pretty decent levels price action wise, so they're worth putting in my opinion. Okay, I'm not going to mess with that. I'm going to go to the 10. And I'm going to scroll left and see what is interesting. Yeah, see, this was a really important level today. Let me just point this out. Now, it topped out here on the last trading day, which was Friday. In the pre-market, it came and it did a couple of important things. It bottomed here into open, and also it had left this gap, let it down to 8 cents. Now, what happened in the day, it pushed off that level, right? That pre-market bottom that it tried to hold, shot up to 11, came down, and that was right where it tested again. And when it lost support at that level, it had this really strong sell-off. This 10-minute candle alone is over 9% down. So that's where the impact was made. And then that's where it was just really unable to recover after that point. So really important previous days highs, pre-market highs and lows. I think that they play strong factors. Trying to see, just again scrolling left here. Okay, important highs here, right? Obviously, strong struggle there, 745. And that sort of reads back here to the previous trading day before that, and also got some levels here, and we get some levels up here, and that helps us sort of sort out this big gap. But if we get in this gap between 765 and 849, we can come put in some additional levels there. Now this is after hours and pre-market, but there's a lot of it. So I'm going to stick a level there for the moment at 802. All right, so this is what I'm looking at for the time being for the levels that I think could provide some important support and resistance. Sorry if that was a nauseating scroll through the chart. But we're at 703 right now. So 672 to the downside, it looks to me. 687, 706 is the nearest in. 724 to the upside, 745, 755, so on and so forth. So those are the levels that I'm going to be most interested in. And again, today, if we see how it treated these levels, it got choppy around all these really tight levels. And then, found a nice bottom here around that 659 level. So we'll see if it continues to hold or where it goes. And if it falls through the bottom and folks are interested, let me know. We can chart some additional levels there too, because I think we have more above than below. Now it's hard to see the channel here based on how Thinkorswim scrunches or tends to scrunch these lower priced stocks on the daily chart, but we can still see it. We see here today's candle is struggling with this mid-range of the channel, that bright blue line in the center. And that's what I'm most interested to see, what it's going to do around that mid-range of the channel. If it is able to come up toward the upper bound of the channel, that puts it about 12. The lower bound of the channel looks like it's situated about, 3? So again, with it having such crazy intraday price action, it's as equally crazy on the channel as well. The upper to the lower bound is huge percentage change. Now the interesting thing on the TTM squeeze indicator here is you see we have several days now of triggering. Those red dots are triggering on the indicator, indicating that when it fires, meaning when it starts to turn green, that could be the start of or give it the impulse for a large move. And it's interesting that these, pretty wild swings day to day maybe are not the actual really big move. I don't know. Sometimes the TTM squeeze indicator misfires, meaning it shows this exact setup and then nothing really happens once the green dots come in. It's an indicator like anything else. It's not a crystal ball and nothing is. But that is interesting to me. It's having this wild fluctuation. It's right about at the mid-range of the channel, and it's spending several days getting its trigger set up. Will that amount to anything? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. You do see the resistance for the 180 to 200 EMA cloud all the way up here, in like 140s, like 1.43. So again, plenty of room, right? But just because it's sold off a bunch doesn't mean that there's not more room for it to sell off. And just because it has a bunch of run room to the upside doesn't mean that it will or it won't go there. It's, again, it's not a crystal ball. It's just looking at the price action and seeing what it's looking like at the moment. And to me, these are the levels that are important. There's also clearly this downtrend that is sort of just outside of. It's a little nearer in than maybe it would be obvious. It's maybe I'll put it here just to have it in case it does anything. But it's, just recently escaped. And now it's sort of looking like it may draw back down toward it again. Will it get sucked back down into it? I don't know. Will it continue to walk itself down outside of it? Maybe. But the more distance it can get from this downtrend and build supports in a range, especially on these support levels, it may give it an escape opportunity, if you will. Give it a chance to kind of make a break. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, folks, I hope your week is off to a good start. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.